This is a data management training video for the OPERA trial. It's intended for viewing by people with the following roles: principal investigator, another medical professional, a research nurse, a data manager, a trial coordinator, or a research associate. Data management in the OPERA trial, that is randomization, data capture, and also management of the trial medication allocations, is managed within the sealed envelope platform, which is generally known as Red Pill. You can see on the screen now the web address that's used to access the user accounts within Red Pill. Each user account is secure to an individual. You are issued a user account upon Newcastle Clinical Trials Unit receiving a completed delegation log and training details. When the invitation to create an account comes, it will come direct from sealed envelope. This can occasionally go to junk or spam folders, so if you are expecting an invitation to a role within the system and you don't receive one, please first of all check your junk folders before contacting Newcastle Clinical Trials Unit. Each account is specific to a role, so in this trial we have randomization, unblinding, and an investigator, which is used for site data entry. You will only need one username and one password to access the system, but in order to perform the functions of each individual role, you will need to log out of one role and log back in as the other. Please don't share your login details. This would be a violation of GCP. In addition to this training video, other training support is available, additional training support for new staff members on request. A test randomization or unblinding or data entry must be performed by the users to gain access to the live database. So first of all, you will be given access to a training database and you will perform a brief test based upon the role that you perform within the system. Once Newcastle Clinical Trials Unit has received evidence of that test, you will then be sent an invitation to join the live database. Additional support is available through the Comprehensive OPERA User Guide, which is a separate document, a PDF document. And there is also a generic help function within the Red Pill system itself, which is accessed from the main menu at the top of the browser screen. The contacts for data management within Newcastle Clinical Trial Unit are the data managers. So for this trial, that is currently Chris Wheatman and Rebecca Summerly-Wafer. Please initially contact the team via the OPERA trial team inbox, which is opera@newcastle.ac.uk. If you have an issue which is technical and you require a more immediate response, you can also contact the database support mailbox for issues such as unable to log in or error messages or something technical in nature, and that address is nctu.database.support@ncl.ac.uk. When you are given a role in the OPERA Red Pill database, you receive an invitation email from sealed envelope with the subject "Invitation to a new role." There's an example on the screen. From the moment you receive the email, you'll have 2 weeks to set up your account and accept the invitation to your role. After 2 weeks, you'll need to contact Newcastle Clinical Trials Unit in order to have the invitation resent. To set up your account, click on the Set Up Your Account link contained within the email. This will take you to the Create Your Password page where you can create a new account on Sealed Envelope. Sealed Envelope usefully provides some suggested passwords which you can use to create a new password. Just copy the passwords on the screen and paste them into the password input box. You'll need to repeat this to confirm the password. Below the password input boxes, you'll find spaces to enter a backup email address or a backup mobile phone number. This is in case you forget your password in the future, and so you can use the forgot your password link. If you don't enter a backup email address here or a backup telephone number, you will be unable to reset the password yourself, and you'll have to contact Newcastle Clinical Trials Unit in order to have the password reset manually. This can only be done during working hours, so it's highly recommended that you enter either an email address or a telephone number on this screen. If in the future you need to have the password manually reset, you can contact nct.database.support@newcastle.ac.uk, and somebody will manually reset the password for you. Once you've entered all the details that you need to on this screen, click Create to create your account. The first screen you will see is an invitation to a new role. This is likely to be the new role that invited you to create the account in the first place. Accept the role. You're then taken to the home page. This is the page that you'll see in the future when you log into the database. If you have other trials in RedPill, they'll be displayed here, along with all of the roles that you have for each trial, and whether they are in a test system or in a live system. In this case, we only have one role, Investigator, on the Opera trial. To log into your role, you just click onto the Access with Role button. To add a participant in RedPill, you first of all need to log onto the system using the correct role. For the purposes of this demonstration, we are using a test user called Freya McDonald. We're going to start at Sealed Envelope's access screen, which is www.sealedenvelope.com/access. Copy in Freya's email address. You would input your own. And we'll copy in the password that was entered when you set up the account. And we'll press Login. Freya has invitations to other roles in the trial, one of which is randomization, the other is unblinding. To add participants, you need to use the investigator role. So we're not going to accept these invitations right now. We're going to go to Trials. And this is the screen that you would immediately come to following login if you didn't have any pre-existing invitations. You can see still there's a banner at the top of the screen telling Freya that she still has invitations to new roles that need to be accepted before they'll be available here on this screen. Right now we've already accepted the investigator role and it's available under the Opera trial in the test system, which we are using for demonstration purposes. It's on this screen that you could also disable notifications. If you're receiving emails, unwanted emails for the trial that you wish to disable, you just need to click on the Disable Notifications for this role button. And then the symbol will be crossed out, showing that the notifications have been cancelled. You should only disable notifications if you're not receiving important notifications such as randomization or unblinding, because taking this action will disable all notifications without any distinction as to which ones are sent and which ones are not. So we're going to re-enable them for that purpose. To access the role, you can see there's a button that says Access with Role, Investigator, and then it'll name the site. So we're going to click on that button. So we've now accessed as the test user Freya McDonald, as indicated in the top banner. And we can see the home screen for the Opera trial that an investigator role sees. And one of the options in the top menu bar is Add a Participant. So we're going to click on that. And this takes us through to the screening log form, which is where all participants begin. In order to add a participant, we have to enter the mandatory information. Mandatory information is usually indicated by an asterisk at the end of the question. As we can see, after participant ID, there is an asterisk there. For the Opera trial, the format of the participant ID are 3 letters followed by 3 numbers. The 3 letters indicate the site ID, which in this case is LON, and the 3 numbers indicate the chronological number that was assigned to the participant when they were screened by the site. So we'll try and go for a number that hasn't been used before. We'll go for 777. But normally this would start with 001, then go to 002, 003, etc. We'll select a random sex for the participant because this is just dummy data. And next it'll ask for some pre-screening information, which should have been collected before the point of data entry. So we have the pre-treatment possibility of a UDCA response, and you'll see there's a note there to say that the response to this question must be less than 0.8 in order to be eligible. If you try to enter a number higher than 0.8, you'll receive a warning that this patient is ineligible for the trial. Warnings can be overridden, but if you do, you will need to provide a justification. You can see here there is a justification box has appeared just below the question, and if you want to go ahead and register this patient and enter a number higher than 0.8, you have to type a reason here, and then it'll allow you to save the form. If a question is mandatory, i.e. it has the asterisk after the question, and you do not enter a justification, the system will not allow you to save the form. So in order to save the form, you have to either enter a valid value or a justification. In this case, we're not going to enter a justification. We're going to lower the number so that it fits. Was the URS appropriate to continue with Opera? We're going to say yes. Was the patient referred? So if we say yes, the patient was referred, we have some branching logic in here that says it opens up a comment box which asks for the referral site name. If you say no, the patient wasn't referred, you won't have to enter any information in the comments box, so it really depends what the situation is for the particular participant that you're entering into the system. The next section is called Proceed with Opera, so it's a very straightforward question. Did the participant proceed to attend a screening visit? If you were to say no again, we have some branching logic. So you have a drop-down box to choose a reason why the participant didn't proceed, and if you can't find a reason, you can click Other, and then that goes to the next level, which will allow a free text box for you to enter a reason of your own. In the case of this test participant, we're just going to say yes, to keep it simple. So we will now be able to save the form. As I said before, if this number was too high, and the patient isn't eligible, and we try to save the form, it wouldn't let us. It would just keep redirecting us back to that justification box. So we'll correct that, save the form, and the participant has been added. What you'll get after that is the same screen that you've just been completing, except it's now a review screen instead of a data entry screen, and a banner at the top saying the form was saved. If you have any edits to do, there is an edit link there directly below the banner that says edit. If you were to click on that, you could go back and change some of this information if you needed to. And you'll also have to give a reason for the edit for the benefit of the audit trail. If you scroll to the top of the screen and click on the Return to Participant button, this will return you to the full list of participants for your site. So our participant was LON777. You can see the details for LON777 are displayed in the right-hand screen. And now that we've completed the screening log, some of the subsequent forms have opened up. So screening log is there. The Add button is grayed out because we've already added the form. We could view the form if we wanted to, or we could edit the form as I've just demonstrated. A new visit has also opened up, visit 1, which is the screening visit, which contains the form that records the visit date, the pre-treatment URS, and informed consent. Randomization will not be available at this stage because some of these details need to be changed in order for randomization to become activated. If you have any further questions, you can direct these to the Opera trial mailbox, opera@newcastle.ac.uk.